Put him down. Put him down. I'm not looking up.
3, 2,
Welcome back to the Agony of Positivity podcast. I am Ross, and as always, joined by...
Oh!
Whee! All right. So we are...
Sorry that we didn't talk to you last week, because we don't like you.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, what can we say?
Life happens.
Yeah, it's inconvenient, but what can you do? But we are back now. So I listened to a bunch of way more popular than us podcasts during our week away. So I think what we need to try is we're just going to scream 90% of the time, anytime we have an opinion, because apparently people like that. And instead of just having like an even keel approach to things or discussions, I think we need to start screaming at each other that you're an idiot.
Screaming and make it political.
Yes.
I could
you could go.
People mad about Biden. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Like, I was listening to a bunch of podcasts and different things. I was like, man, people get like primarily wrestling, but also video game. But man, people get like super passionate. I was like, maybe that is what is hurting us. Is I don't have the passion to call you a moron because we have a different opinion, or
because you're not a loser,
or I don't want Vince McMahon to die in a car explosion for real because of something. It's like just super weird to me, but we're not actually going to do that. I don't think. I think we're just going to have like our normal discussions that are probably low energy to a lot of people. But
I can't see me screaming at you. I mean, I can't see me screaming at anybody, to be honest with you. I mean, if I disagree with you, then whatever. I don't care. I'll just walk away.
Right. Or just disagree and then we'll move on.
Yes.
I don't, it's just super weird. I don't know. But if you're listening to this, we got the Twitter at the AOP podcast. If you want to hear us just scream about stuff instead of trying to use normal human voices, let us know. I doubt we'll change, but
have you seen the videos of New York being like hammered by Ida?
No, I have not.
I mean, apparently there's like all kinds of flooding and everything.
I believe it. I saw the stuff for Louisiana.
Yeah.
Like in general. Like it's like bad news.
Yeah, I mean, because we really didn't get anything where we are at, but I guess.
I mean, we're Ohio. We shouldn't.
Well, I mean, because the storm came up, through us before, and we just got a little rain, but I don't know if it got it strengthened or something. But yeah, New York and everybody's getting slammed up there. So
until the Statue of Liberty floats away, it's not that bad. I think that's that's what all movie posters have taught me. That's when you got to worry, is when you can only see like the head and the torch.
Yes.
Let's see here. I think anything crazy for your week? I got really nothing other than like real life that I will talk about a lot on the podcast, but in general, nothing that I care to talk about this week.
I was sick last week, pretty bad.
Yeah.
Not that pretty bad. When I say pretty bad, I mean I felt like crap.
Yeah.
I probably was at a 5, we'll say.
Yeah.
I mean, I wasn't like on my deathbed or anything, but I lost my taste and smell for a couple days.
Right.
So I may have had COVID. I may have had a cold. I don't know.
Right.
But either way, yeah.
Well, and if you're not like super sick, you're probably not like, I got to go get tested or whatever. I mean, you just.
Well, I just stayed home. So
right.
I quarantined myself like you should. And,
right. Like not when you think, like, just in general, if you think you're sick and contagious, it doesn't matter what you're sick with. It's
Yeah.
it's not a bad idea to avoid other people.
Well, people ask me that. They're like, "Did you go get a COVID test?" I was like, I wasn't bad enough to really care, you know.
Right.
I mean, I was sick,
Right.
so I mean, there's nothing you can do anyway if you're sick. So I mean,
Right. It'd be one of those. Maybe if for some reason you were in a crazy scenario where you absolutely had to potentially be around people, you might get a test. But if you're just sitting at home, like, I'm not getting worse, I'll just tough it out and see what happens here.
exactly. So what it did. So I guess everything's okay.
Let's see here. So, all right. I say, so we're not going to mess with like Dynamite and all that. But we're just going to kind of do like some All Out. I mean, obviously we have to do a prediction because it's silly not to if we're going to talk about it before it happens. And then just kind of like the general state of the roster that's on the show, I think might be something to talk about. We'll see some general wrestling just all together. So we are going to go with Britt bumper. Here we go.
Why did Britt take her shoe off to eat that sandwich?
All right. That bumper's super short, but all right.
DMD.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I need to add that onto it and just make it like a 30-minute bumper.
Yeah.
The ends with Tony Schiavone going, well, sorry, folks, we're all out of time. And then just end the show every week. Like, we just play that and post that in perpetuity. All right, so the website we got listed for the card, it's itnwwe.com, wrestling, AEW All Out. So one of the so I think I complain about this quite regularly, but nothing's going to stop me right now. Okay, pause button. Finally figured out how to get that to work. Back to me getting ready to complain about AEW.
Yes.
So I go to AEW.com and I try to find the card for All Out. You know, their giant show that has CM Punk on it. One of the biggest events in wrestling in a long time. You know what I can't find on their website? Guess.
Well, it's not AEW's too. It's also WWE doesn't do it.
Yeah, well, we're complaining about AEW at the moment.
Okay.
We could create a podcast to complain about things from WWE. But, because I go to any of their, events, details. They have AEW All Out Fan Fest, Rampage, All Out, details. Show preview coming soon. It's like 4 days away. You pretty much know what the card is.
Yeah.
Killing me.
Yep.
So I initially went to, it was like CBS, and much like ITN here is set up for WWE is the only wrestling in the world, it had a giant WWE logo in front of the article with the card, and it made me laugh. So, but I just don't understand, but as you said, WWE does the same thing. Why is it so hard 4 days out from your pay-per-view when you only run 4 of them a year? It's not like the guy's overworked.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Are you wanting to drive me to other websites somehow? To get this information?
Come on, Tony Khan, you mark.
Yeah, stupid fan. I was happy to see that there was an interview with CM Punk talking about, having someone who, is a fan and loves wrestling, running a wrestling thing. He's like, isn't that what we should want? I don't understand why this is bad. Something to that effect. And I was like, haha. Yep. All right. So, oh man. So we are doing this before Rampage, where Darby is going to fight Daniel Garcia. Yep. Punk's going to be on commentary. You might enjoy that. I don't think you ever Punk did commentary for a while with WWE during an injury or something.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah. I liked him on commentary. I thought he did a good job. So I'm kind of excited for that. Is it
live or is it taped?
Yeah, Rampage will be live this week.
Okay.
It seems like they're gonna tape it sometimes, Like, I'm sure they probably have it planned out pretty far in advance. I would assume anytime you have a Rampage before a pay-per-view or a special event, it's probably going to be live, and then you'll get them where they're taped fairly often.
Gotcha.
Speaking of the taped thing, I guess they're moving Dark to Universal Studios.
Yep, Dark and Elevation.
Well, I think Elevation is still going to be before shows.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe so. That was like information for today, but yeah, like Dark itself, where it's like the super, how to say this nicely, the super ham and eggers, and then like the occasional like big name is like, because you sent me the thing where he wants to go for a WCW worldwide feel. My personal hope is that the ring spins, because that's what really mattered about worldwide to me. Was the spinning ring and watching people get confused how to get onto the steps. But what do you think? Like them having, because I have no desire to go to a live show and sit through Dark Elevation, the actual show, and potentially a Rampage.
That's a lot of wrestling.
That's now granted. It's like, the only way I'm going to see AEW is most likely like a TV taping. So it would probably be a bigger experience as opposed to like WWE where you can go to the house shows or whatever. So I might be able to psych myself up for it. Also, I like the product, so that would probably help some. But
Sure.
I don't think I could show up at like 6 o'clock and go till 11 or 12 and be like, I'm going to be done. So now if they do like 3 or 4 matches before Dynamite starts or whatever the event is, that's fine. But I don't know. So do you think that's a good idea to just centralize it like one location?
Yeah, I do, because Dark is, let's call it what it is. it's developmental basically for them.
To me, it is the Taz and Excalibur podcast with wrestling in the background.
Yes.
The which I do like that Taz and Excalibur can call Dark, and they're mostly just having a fun time, but they're still like calling the important stuff in the ring. But then when they're on like Dynamite or something, if Taz, like, they're all business about it for the most part. There's 2 very different styles. It's super weird though to hear Taz just start singing songs.
Well, and if you ever wanted to get onto a streaming service like HBO Max or whatever, I think it's good to make Dark look different. That way, it looks like
it's something. Yeah, you don't have like the same. You're also not killing your crowd.
Yes.
Now it's hard to say what kind of crowd they'll be able to get if they're doing it at Universal Studios, but
sure. Well, like before, like Bischoff said, you could just recycle, just get a new crowd in every hour or whatever.
Yeah.
Because so I don't know. But with COVID, that might be a little bit of a problem. So
right. Yeah, it seems like that. Yeah, because they're talking about. So slight spoiler here. As far as like debuts at All Out. Now this is speculation. As we always say, I don't have any sources, and I don't think you do either. But if you don't want to hear, you might want to skip ahead for a minute here. But okay, you've had enough time to hit skip if you're going to. Like they're talking about like Daniel Bryan showing up.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting.
Oh, fighting Andrade.
Oh no.
Okay.
No, I just thought like in general him showing up.
The rumor is that
he
because Pac, whatever the name is trapped where he lives because of COVID restrictions.
Yeah.
They're it's gonna be Andrade versus Bryan Daniels or Daniel Bryanson or whatever his name is.
I hope if he shows up, I will refer to him. Well, I was going to make a joke about the name where you just turn it into another version of that name.
Yes.
But yeah. So, yeah, I hadn't heard that. I saw where Sammy Guevara tweeted out where it seems like he's wanting to fight Andrade.
Yeah.
Which I think would be fine. Like, that'd be a good
that'd be
match.
fine too.
Like, Sammy's pretty good. So, Let's see here. All right.
Well, because especially you want Andrade to kind of win too. So
Right. Well, Sammy could take a loss.
Yeah.
Like, people like him. He's good. He's had some wins. It doesn't, like, they did do a thing with Fuego where they were talking about maybe Sammy needs to get some gold at some point.
Yeah.
So they might want to not have him lose. It feels like Andrade should probably win, most likely, but it's hard to say. So let's see here. What I'm thinking we can do is we'll kind of go through this, like, the order they have listed currently, and just kind of see what's going on with it. So I'm going to say, so since what you brought up, because I didn't hear about that until just now, there's still going to be spoilers when we get to talking about Andrade. So you should probably just embrace that we're going to talk about speculation of people showing up. But you can try to skip around, but I'm not going to fight that the rest of the podcast. All right, so they got listed currently. So the women's casino battle royal got bumped to the main card.
Really?
Yeah, so it's going to be on the main card. They have a different buy-in match. Also, there was something where Tony Khan was talking about where, like, the pre-show match, he's not happy that the pre-show match has such a negative connotation, I guess.
Okay.
Because he was talking about, there was, like, he remembers seeing, like, Austin on a pre-show match one time.
Yeah.
And he was like, it doesn't have to be, I'm kind of reading into it, but it's basically, the pre-show doesn't have to be what it is currently. Like, so it sounds like in the future, like, right. Yeah, obviously they're not going to do that, but, like, I can see the day where you get, like, a TNT title match as the pre-show, just to be like, look, we're going to make the pre-show isn't bad. It's just you're on before the main show to get people hyped up. Whereas, I don't know, like, you were fighting over a decade of preconditioned ideas, basically, with anything you do. Like, even me, who's pretty much, like, AEW is what I primarily watch, I still catch myself, because I'm so used to the WWE way of doing things, that some things are hard for me to get my head wrapped around.
I'm trying to think back how WCW used to do it.
They basically were like, check out these cruiserweights. They're going to kill themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
That's right, Bobby. That was my Tony Schiavone.
And then the last 2 hours, NWO something. Yeah.
Oh, I am glad you said that. Did you know, I saw somebody posted this, if you are comparing AEW to WCW's run of Monday Nitro, at this moment in time, this is when Lex Luger beat Hollywood Hogan for the WCW title.
Okay. I remember that. Yeah.
Right. So it doesn't feel like AEW has been around that long, because that feels like that was forever into the Monday Nitro run.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, time moves differently the older you get. Like, it goes quicker. But
yeah,
I would know. So basically, there's.
He beat Hollywood Hogan and now Hulk Hogan?
Yes.
Really?
Like, it was into the NWO. It was that period where Luger beat him with the rack, the torture rack.
Yeah.
And then he lost it back like the next week. But, so, I mean, it was pretty far into the NWO at that point when he did that. So, yeah. Like, well, I mean, I remember it happening because hate's a strong word. I did not care for Lex Luger.
You hate his character.
Quite possibly.
Person, you don't know the person. You just
right.
hate his character.
Yeah, because it was like, dude, he's not a good wrestler. Back then, it was basically, he's not Dean Malenko, so he sucks in the ring.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, the crowd loved it. Like, that was a huge moment because I don't think anybody thought that was going to happen. But I just remember watching that and being like, of all the people, why is it Lex Luger? God.
I remember someone telling me that And I was mad at the time, but thinking back, he's actually kind of right. He's like, the only person who can wrestle in the NWO is Scott Hall. And at the time, I was like, no, you got Nash, you got all these members, and I was like, you know what, he was right.
Yep. Well, I mean, Nash. I don't want to say smoke and mirrors, but kind of like
he was a big man. I mean, there's not a lot you could do with a big man.
Yeah, I mean, he wrestled like a strong big man style, and it worked very well, especially when he was paired with Hall.
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't have like a lot of technicians or anything in there.
Well,
when Conan was in there.
Well, Kurt Hennig was part of the NWO, so I mean, he had Kurt Hennig.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but I mean it took a while. Like, but your initial, you got Hall, Hogan, Nash, Giant,
Dix.
Yeah. Like, so once you add him, but yeah, until that point, you got Hall.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. So, but yeah, I just thought that was strange because I think that was like, there's almost 300 episodes of Nitro. So AEW is 1/3 of the way to outlasting Nitro.
Well, hopefully AEW does a better job than how the last couple of years of Nitro was. So.
Yeah, the next third, hopefully they'll keep trending up. It all fell apart when Sting didn't have that tan, so he couldn't beat Hogan the way he should have. All right, so we got the buy-in. We got your boys, best friends with Wheeler, and Jurassic Express with my boy Luchasaurus.
Yeah. Against
basically the Hardy family office. The only thing I really hope for is that they use TH2's entrance and I get to see Angelico dance.
Sure.
That's that, and if I can see Marco get just obliterated by something.
Sure.
You want to make a prediction on this?
I want Matt Hardy's group to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you now? Is the reason you want that is you want to extend this feud to where we can get to the eventual like ultra-violent match with the best friends where something horrible happens to them?
No, I just get rid of the best friends.
It is never gonna happen.
Yeah, I know.
What do you think about Orange Cassidy's new finisher where he does like the kind of like the, I don't even know what you would call it. He folds them up and then like puts his hands in his pockets to lock it in.
Oh yeah, I think. I'm not a fan of Orange Cassidy at all.
Okay, so you don't even like that at all.
I mean, so he's better than the other. Maybe it's because I was just associated with the best friends. I don't know. I just never been a fan.
You're just blinded.
Yeah.
I feel personally, because I like Orange Cassidy, I think Mousetrap is a fine finisher because it fits him. This one feels like it's a little too reachy into the gimmick.
Okay.
But it does kind of make sense. But it feels like it'd be a heel version of him finisher because he's like grabbing his own tights, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, it just seems weird. But either way, I'm going to assume Best Friends and Jurassic Express win. Just because Jungle Boy is going to be involved.
Yep. All
right. So, I don't think there's really anything. We're both pretty biased on so many of the people involved in this match that it's hard to even discuss it. All right. So, Andrade versus mystery opponent. So the one is like where Sammy tweeted out something about it. The other is what you were talking about, where it's Brian Danielson, or whatever they're going to call him, the American Dragon, Daniel Bryan, Brian Danielson, some other combination of that name. Is there anyone else you think they could run out as a mystery opponent?
Braun Strowman, Buddy Murphy,
Cole.
Who?
Adam Cole. I don't think you'd send Adam Cole out to.
I don't think you would send out any of those people to beat.
Yeah, like
fight.
Yeah, like you want Andrade to win. I would think.
Yeah.
Unless you're just like, all right, Andrade, you're doing the job. We paid you a bunch of money. Sorry about your luck.
Yeah.
But honestly, if he would have fought Pac, I don't know who wins that match.
Yeah.
Like, honestly. So, I mean, who do they give him that he can beat as a mystery opponent?
I'm gonna say Andrade wins. I don't know who he's gonna fight, but I think he wins no matter who he fights against.
I hope they send out Marco and he just obliterates him.
Yes.
Because I don't know who you do. I haven't looked at the new stuff, but like, send out like Daniel Bryan if he's going to be there. That seems like I don't think that'd be good for Andrade. I bet they would put on a great match, but like, it seems too early to have him get beat.
Yeah.
But all right. Like Andrade, whatever they tried with him didn't work. It's like it needs a hard reset. Because I like Chavo, but like, just things didn't go well, and it feels super weird.
Yeah.
All right.
I agree with that.
We got MJF and Chris Jericho.
Well, considering Jericho was crying in the ring, and so was JR, I think Jericho's going to lose.
Yeah, and never wrestle in AEW again. He's also specified in AEW because he said like his last match is supposed to be against Lance Storm, which he could do not in AEW if he wanted. Maybe he does that on the Jericho Cruise.
Sure.
Which is fine, but so you really think they'll have like MJF goes 4-0 against Jericho?
Yep, and I think Jericho goes and he's the next Jesse Ventura commentating.
Just screaming on commentary, pissing people off.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I'm going to compare him to Jesse Ventura was better. So
at this stage, absolutely.
Yes.
Now Ventura was loud, but he had a deeper voice, so it wasn't. I don't know. Like, I mean, I have no doubt that put Jericho on commentary for a while, he's going to figure it out and he'll be good.
Well, he needs to be heel. He needs to be a Bobby the Brain heel commentator. That's what he needs to be.
So for this, do you think MJF just like outright wins clean, or
no? I think he cheats.
Like, just this time is going to be like super cheating.
Yeah, I think he cheats.
Like Dynamite Ring, Wardlow, Nuclear Bomb.
All the Pinnacle. I don't know if we disbanded the Pinnacle. They kind of just disappeared.
Yeah, so with the FTR thing, I mean, Cash, like the cut that Cash got was definitely something that I could see causing nerve damage like they were talking about. Do you think that's real, or they're just kind of making a story out of it because it's like, oh, I don't know?
I don't know. I think because they seem like the type of people that like to troll.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
so I don't know.
It's perfect because it's like that, just the right amount of realism to really make that work.
Well, and they seem like they have a desire to go to NWA and wrestle in the Crockett Cup or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So maybe they just wanted to take a break and go to the other federations to, I don't know.
Yeah, do some stuff.
So they can become the next Dudley Boys, I guess.
Right. Be like, we've wrestled everywhere.
Yep.
I mean, I think it'll be a good match either way. Like, some people just don't like Jericho. I don't know if it's all of a sudden, but like, I think Cody's not around, so now it goes to Jericho that people don't like.
Jericho. Yeah.
Like, I don't know who it would be after Jericho, but I'm sure there'd be somebody.
It'd be Kenny next, I assume.
Yeah. He's so overrated. Like, wait a minute. All right, so they got listed number 3 here, Punk and Darby. So do you think he's beaten Darby with the GTS or the Anaconda Vice?
So I was reading this article today. This one guy's like, I think Darby wins this, and I'm like, it's just a risky.
They laid the groundwork on Dynamite because I saw a discussion on this, and it interested me because the way Punk was talking on his promo is like he hasn't done this in a long time, and he's kind of worried.
Sure.
Before there was the run-in and he got physical. And then he basically threw like some punches, like the mounted punches in the corner, and hit a GTS. Yeah. And he was breathing hard.
Yeah.
Now, here's the question, because he is a storytelling guy. Yeah. Darby is a storytelling weirdo.
Yeah.
Tony Khan seems to really love it when people are doing the nuance stuff. Mm-hmm. Was CM Punk actually almost blown up from not doing anything? Or was he like, I am going to intentionally make it look like I'm breathing hard because people will wonder?
According to Stephen Amell, CM Punk is in really good shape because he's been working out for that heels or heel or whatever it's called.
Right. Well, and he still does like MMA training.
Sure.
Like as part of his workout.
I think it's storytelling.
Right. But the way they did that, was it noticeable enough when I'm assuming you watched most of Dynamite?
Yeah, I watched all of it,
Yeah, were you like, man, he's breathing awful heavy from that? Like, did that come across to you during that segment?
Yeah.
And then, because
I noticed it.
Yeah, so it was either he was for real blown up and this match is going to be a disaster, or it was intentional.
Sure.
Because I was like, man, it's like he's blown up. Wait, he didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure that in my current physical shape, I could throw 10 punches and fireman's carry a dude for a minute and not be blown up.
And also, can we just say, does 2.0 like have family members? Are they related to Tony Khan? Because these guys have gotten some pretty big matches for dudes that just came in.
I personally am digging it because, so this is how I view it, and I might be giving it more attention than it needs, but with AEW, I feel like I can do that, and it might actually be what they're going for. So they showed up and called out Moxley, Kingston, and Darby.
Yeah.
Even though they lost, they were basically going after the biggest names to get attention on themselves.
Yeah.
They called out Darby. The way they've been operating, they're clearly trying to get attention on themselves. Yeah. Them trying to jump CM Punk absolutely fits in with their motive.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And, I mean, honestly, it's kind of cool to see it kind of sucks for some of the teams that might have been there, like TH2 or something, but they brought in these 3 new guys and have pretty much turned them into a big deal to where even if they drop to mid-card, they still have some credibility.
Sure.
So I'm kind of okay with it. Like Garcia, I think I like him. Like his wrestling style. And the 2.0 guys, I think they're Matt and Jeff, but I get real confused. Like, if you go way back, we did a podcast about AEW before it actually started, where neither one of us knew which buck was which.
True,
That is the point I'm at with 2.0 right now. But the way they talk, I can get into them. So if they want to take 3 pretty newer acts and see what they can do, I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I saw some people were like, well, I don't understand why they would do that, and be like, you mean take like a couple newer or younger guys and try to make stars out of them? Yeah, I know that's crazy, but
they're good on the mic and everything. So I'm
pretty sure that's almost more important. Like, is being able to talk at this point.
Looking at you, Jungle Boy, looking at you.
Yeah, because like pretty much everybody can wrestle nowadays. Now, not everybody can put it together, but as far as doing the moves, but yeah, like being able to like be an engaging promo or just be entertaining one way or the other.
Sure.
So yeah, but yeah, man, could you imagine though those guys being like, all right, so in NXT, you were with WWE's company. Yeah, we got nothing for you, you guys. Sorry. We're just gonna release you. Tell them, be like, so just so you know, in a few months from this moment where you've been released, you're going to be in the ring with CM Punk.
Yes.
Like, wait, what? We're like, yeah, he's going to come back to wrestling, and you're going to be the first people that he is ever physical with.
Well, to be fair, they should have known the end was coming in WWE when they were a tag team. So, I mean, yeah.
Like, I don't know. But yeah, but going back to that, like, the way they set it up, I mean, it went from, I'm certain that CM Punk is going to win, but now there's like that 5 or 10% of they might actually do something where Punk loses, or who knows, maybe he has to cheat to win, and all of a sudden he's a bad guy.
I don't know. I still think 2.0. I mean, granted, he beat him up. I don't know. I still think that they're part of his group. I don't know. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I could see for sure. It would be because, I mean, he brought the Shield up, so this is kind of the same thing where he brings 3 young guys to be with him, and this time he gets to do kind of what he wants with it.
Sure.
Because Shield took off, and I think they were supposed to be with him for a while, but they got like so popular that it was like, all right, these guys need to be their own thing now.
Sure.
And they did that. But yeah, so I mean, I still think CM Punk wins, but they've done what they do a lot, where they've put that possibility that Darby might actually win in my head. Very, very slight, but I'd still bet the bank on Punk on this one. But
yep, I do too.
Let's see here. All right, they got listed Omega and Christian Cage. So I was talking to you about this a little bit, where they kind of backed off on promoting this match to where all they got to do is have a good match, and I think it'll be fine. Like they didn't try to pretend that this is a bigger match than CM Punk being on the card or anything like that.
Yeah.
So you think there's any shot that Christian wins this match?
No, especially since he took the title.
Yeah, the Impact one.
I mean, they're not going to give him 2 titles.
I think it's basically at this point, it's like, all right, Kenny's just going to be the AEW champion, and he's going to become a maniac to defend it.
Sure.
Do you think that at this moment that Hangman is still the guy to beat Kenny?
Yeah, I think so, because Hangman's doing his, I think he's
paternity leave?
Pregnant. Yeah, his wife's pregnant, right? So,
yeah. It is such a crazy thing to think that a wrestler who was in that spot to potentially, like, this is where you're going to get the championship, but wanted to be around his child's birth, and that was okay.
It's crazy that he loves his wife, yeah.
Well, not only that, but it's okay. He's not fearing, I would assume, not fearing like losing his spot to where he's going to come back and have to do like line dancing as punishment.
Yes.
Let's see. Yeah, I think this will be a good match, but yeah, I would be shocked if Omega doesn't win. All right, we got your boy QT Marshall. And totally not the Big Show.
Yes.
Paul White.
JR kept calling him Big Show.
I mean, it'd be hard not to.
Yeah, to be fair.
Like, especially if you get into the moment at all. Totally crazy that the Guns turned on Big Show, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kind of came out of nowhere. Yeah.
I can't wait to see what they're going to do with that. Like, I feel like that's going to be like a Dark or an Elevation storyline, hopefully.
Yeah.
But you could argue that QT should be on there. But what do you think happens in this? I don't even know.
I think he comes out as that character from that Adam Sandler movie, Captain
Insano.
Yeah, I think he comes out. I think he wins.
Oh man, I think QT wins.
Really?
I think if it's an actual match, I think QT wins. If it's Big Show punches him in the face like immediately, then that's it. Like punch or choke slam straight away, but I think otherwise QT's actually going to win. And Big Show will fail to defend the honor of Tony Schiavone.
I guess.
Well,
ultimately, I don't care who wins or loses this match. So.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be the match where it's like I'm going to get up and use the restroom or get another piece of pizza or food or whatever. Yes. It'd be like, oh, I was hoping this would be over before I got back.
Yes.
Whatever crazy match happens, like I could see this match following the cage match.
Sure.
If I was guessing, we got Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, which is very repetitive and unnecessary, against Chris Statlander. Mm-hmm. I assume Britt wins. I don't know why they would have her lose this match.
Yeah, I assume Britt wins.
Hopefully Britt will not get another broken nose or anything like that. Because she has not... Her and FTR could create a faction that's basically just injury reserve would be the name, because they all have horrible luck. Yeah. I think especially with like Britt Baker has like I like that they put Statlander in the handicap match on Rampage coming up.
Yeah.
But they explained it as she signed a contract extension.
Yes.
And that is what she wanted. Like, because it at least explains why Tony Khan would do that. Because otherwise it's like, well, that's pretty unfair. But she had the negotiating power because she has the belt. So it makes sense in that regard. Yeah. It's like, man, you did not shoot very high for your demands.
Well, see, I totally forgot about the, I was going to say, I can see Ruby Riott coming in there in this match, but I forgot about the Battle Royal, so she could probably come in there in that too.
Yeah. Depending on the order too. I mean, it could be that she debuts, if she shows up as the wild card or the Joker or whatever, and then this match is later on. She could show up to try to even the odds. Yeah. Or she could show up, whose side is she on? And she joins Britt Baker too.
Yes.
All right. I think it'll be a pretty good match though.
Yeah, it should be.
We got Moxley against Kojima. I assume Moxley wins this, but it's going to be two dudes just beating the crap out of each other.
I don't know who this guy is, so I'm going to go with Moxley. So,
just know that Bread Club is a thing as opposed to Bullet Club. That's what you need to know. I can't imagine, since they're going to be in Cincinnati following this, that Moxley doesn't win this match, if for no other reason from that. I'm wondering what they're doing, because like he seemed very disappointed to have Kojima versus Tanahashi. So I'm assuming there's going to be a Moxley Tanahashi match somewhere, but I don't know where it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I hope it's somewhere that I can easily view it and not at 4 a.m. But all right, we got God's favorite champion Miro against Eddie Kingston. They had I thought it was a pretty good promo package with Eddie Kingston on Dynamite.
Sure.
The back and forth with Miro is pretty good. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think CJ shows up.
Yeah.
Lana, whatever her name's going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think Miro's going to win.
Yeah. Do you think there's any chance that Eddie Kingston actually wins this because they want him to have a title defense at the Arthur Ashe show in New York? Or do you think it is more likely that he would get like a rematch there and maybe win it?
Maybe a rematch.
Due to the interference? Like, I could see, actually, that would work out pretty good.
Yeah,
like
have CJ do her thing, and
somebody's. Oh, I just knocked the crap out of my mic. Sorry, everybody. Him or Proud and Powerful, somebody is winning a big match in New York. I'm assuming. Yeah. All right, we got this cage match. I'm gonna have to take some Xanax or something before this, because I'm gonna be worried the entire time that one of these four is gonna kill themselves doing something stupid.
They do some wild stuff, man.
I mean, just like their normal matches has crazy stuff. A 49-story steel cage is just asking for trouble.
I'm sure Ray Phoenix is going to do something like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?"
Like I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
And then Dottie.
Ray Phoenix will ask for the cage that Cody jumped off of.
Yeah, be like, can you stack one on top of that?
Yes.
The only thing that would make it worse is if Dante Martin was in this and he just jumped over the cage, because I actually think he could. But yeah, what do you think happens in this?
I think Lucha Brothers win.
You think? Like they're actually going to pay off the steel cage? Like, because I mean they've been pretty much telling the story that the Bucks have almost gotten lazy and started relying on interference.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to actually have the cage keep people out, which will be a nice change of pace because that's what it's supposed to do.
Well, and plus the Lucha Bros have lost. Didn't they lose the AAA or AA, whatever it's called, championship to the Young Bucks at a pay-per-view?
Oh yeah, they did. From the Escalator de la Muerte or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't remember if that's it. Yeah, it was the ladder match.
So I think the Lucha Brothers win this one
with something completely disgusting off the cage.
Yes.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see, and then like maybe the Gallows and Anderson end up losing their belts, so Kenny's the only one left, and he goes even more insane or something.
Yes, it becomes even more of a supervillain.
All right, and then let's see. So what do you
think about Kenny Omega's dyeing his hair purple?
I just thought it was like
blue. Sorry,
like blue black or something.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't understand what he's doing.
Well, he's supposed to did some kind of tribute to Harley Race. That's why his little beard goatee thing is.
Yeah.
But Harley Race didn't dye his hair blue, so I don't know who he's tributing now.
I think Kenny Omega has just gotten into the perfect zone of being obnoxious.
Yes.
And has just started topping himself.
Yes. Don Callis and Kenny Omega, they are great as a team. Because they are super annoying and just what in the world?
Well, but it's the good annoying, where it's entertain, or maybe because we're older, I don't know. It feels like it's that perfect balance of entertaining, chickeny, but you still root against them, but you appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, JR and Tony Schiavone, when Don Callis is talking, it is great.
Everything about that, for my personal taste, it's generally perfect.
Yeah.
I was trying to find the clip when Don was saying how he did the job of 4 people, and then there's just dead silence and Schiavone's clearly counting. Because I was going to use that for something. But just those little things are fantastic. Them telling the story that they stole the keys to the control room or whatever for the cage.
Yes.
I appreciate, even though that's kind of silly, I appreciate that it wasn't just who's control. They went ahead and they explained why the cage was able to be lowered and nobody else could raise it. As opposed to it just happening and being well, wouldn't somebody just how would that happen? Would you I don't know. The freaking but the hair was weird. I was confused because it went from black to blue, depending on the lighting. He was nuts when he was in Bullet Club, right? Pretty much. He was a little unhinged, I think you could call it. I'm guessing he's going for the maniac approach where he's just losing his mind.
Sure.
And then what I'm curious is how crazy does he get before he loses the belt, and what does that do to him? Does he disappear and take some time off, or?
I want to see Brian Pillman level craziness from
Kenny
Omega.
Where you just don't know, his hair starts to turn into a fro more than what it is.
Yes.
Let's see here. All right, so for the women's battle royal, so people are speculating pretty heavily that Ruby Soho is going to show up.
Yep.
You think that's probably it?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean,
maybe the Iconics, but I think Ruby Soho's. Well, for
Yeah.
one thing, she's a better wrestler.
Right.
So,
yeah, I'm curious to see what she could do there. Like, it's weird, like, the level of women's talent they're starting to get.
well,
like-
considering where the company first was to where they are at now.
Yeah. Well, I was watching, there was a match with Emi Sakura on Dark or Elevation. I can't remember. Like, I basically will turn that on randomly and watch one of the matches while I'm doing something else. Because it's like, this is better background than a lot of stuff. And it was like, she's older, but she's not like the greatest thing ever. But it's like, the match is solid, whoever she's worked with from what I've seen. And they're getting like a few more people like that can lead people to some good matches. They got a lot of young people that just, honestly, they just need more matches.
Well, and that's what Penelope and the Bunnies basically been doing. They've been putting over the younger talent. So
so Penelope clearly had like what was supposed to be wrestling gear on Dynamite. Like, clearly, I would love to know what happened where it was like, oh man, people freaked out about what I wore. I guess I should make gear like that. Like,
sure.
But I mean, if you like, it's just like, that's a drastic change. I would think that going from not long pants to long pants would be weird.
I mean, and what happened to her husband? Did Miro actually kill him? I mean, because he's been gone for a while.
He's just streams like Call of Duty on Twitch all the time.
Oh.
Now, he had like, because she does a vlog as well, although she's not very consistent with hers. I watched a couple of them just to see if it was something that I would watch or not. But he had like a arm surgery or something, and his basically had to rehab that, so I don't know what's going on.
Gotcha.
But I mean, his arm works well enough to play video games, so.
Sure.
Although maybe he's just being a stay-at-home bimbo now, as opposed to a ringside bimbo.
Yes.
Not a bad job if you can get it.
Oh, sure.
Do you think, like, who do you think wins this?
I want to say Ruby Soho.
Yeah, but I don't think they'd have her knock off Britt. I mean, she could come in and do that and lose, but like pretty much the battle royal is the only way that they have currently to hotshot somebody to a title match, short of antagonizing the champion to where they call you out.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still saying it. I'm still saying Ruby.
I'm gonna go Thunder Rosa, just so Britt can finally beat her, maybe.
Yeah, okay. I can see an argument for that.
And I mean, Thunder Rosa and Britt have something pretty special when they wrestle each other.
Yes.
Like, that's definitely some of the best stuff, short of like Sheeta. I mean, Sheeta could win it too, I suppose.
Yeah.
Or Reba.
No, not Reba.
Please no. All right. So that you think overall, this is going to be a good pay-per-view? Like, are you excited for it or interested?
Yeah. I think it's going to be pretty good.
Do you feel better about this than if you would have had to watch SummerSlam?
Yes.
Okay. So, all right. So now I'm going to take a moment to complain about WWE now that we've gotten AEW stuff kind of out of the way.
Okay.
So I had texted you this the other day, but I tried to watch Raw this week.
Yeah.
And it hurt me a little bit. Like, cigarettes supposedly take a certain amount of time off your life. I'm pretty sure watching episodes of Raw potentially has the same effect.
Well, from what I read, Vince ripped up a whole bunch of scripts from what I read.
Yeah, I saw that too, where they had the show. He was unhappy with it. They did a rewrite. He was unhappy with that, and then they did it again.
Yes.
That, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it seems weird that you have like a entire crew of writers
Yes.
And you're still running into that?
Yeah.
Considering someone said it and it put the thought in my head, so this isn't an original thought, but so he would have had to sign off on the previous week's show where they were building up to what they were advertising initially for Raw. So, yeah, I like this direction, and then all of a sudden, yeah, this is dumb now. Like, what happened from point A to point B? Like, you were okay with the setup to it, but then when it came time, you decided that was a bad idea. Like, just super weird. Like, if I were to hear that Tony Khan was unhappy with the show that they had formatted and they wrote a new show, at least it'd be like, well, there's like 3 people doing the show. So that can happen. You there? Okay, we are back. Pause button is the greatest thing ever.
Pause button.
Yeah, so I was, did you hear, well, you said, so your headset went out. Basically, I was saying, like, it's super weird how Vince...
You have a team of writers?
Yeah, well, he has a team of writers. He approved the show the week before that was laying the groundwork for the next one.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, I don't like this anymore. But yeah, like, the team of writers is weird. Whereas, if I heard about, like, Tony Khan was, like, just not digging the show for whatever reason, and they rewrote it like an hour before, it'd be like, well, it's basically him, the Bucks, and Kenny at the moment, and probably Cody. So it's a small group of people that they just decided they didn't like what they were doing, or they could do something better.
Sure.
Like that would
probably CM Punk's probably now, probably a part of that conversation now too. But yeah,
it's very possible. Because I think actually Tony Khan said something where like the wrestlers don't necessarily have creative control with AEW, but it sounds like what WWE used to do, where they give them the direction, be like, this is where we need you to get, make sure to bring this up,
sure,
and then do it. And then my guess is the people who do that well, they continue to do that. If you really suck at it, but they're still like, you might get more guidance, I would think. Because I could definitely see where it's like some people are much better with, yeah, how do you want me to do this? Okay, I'll do it that way. Versus, I'll figure it out myself.
Sure.
But yeah, where I was going with the WWE thing is I had said that I have like my wrestling figures that I'll sit and play with or fidget with at the desk when I'm doing other stuff sometimes. And I was like,
yeah,
I swear I have put more thought into the storylines with my freaking action figures than WWE does sometimes. Like, I eventually did a Shield versus original NWO match.
Yeah.
That in real life time took me over a month to figure out how to make it work. Because I had to figure out, like, so I had the NWO as a Hogan, Hall, and Nash formed, but the Shield didn't really exist anymore. So I had to figure out how to get all 3 members of the Shield involved with each other to have a reason to not like the NWO. And I had... So in my little toy federation, Austin and Moxley are basically like the mortal enemies, like the top guy mortal enemies. And he was involved, so I had to figure out a way to get him not involved, to not interfere with it.
Yeah.
And it was a mess, and I was like, I don't know how to do this. So I had to just like wait for an idea to come to me while I was doing something with them. And it's like, whereas I feel like WWE method would have been like, oh, we'll just throw them together. There you go, done. Like,
yes,
no rhyme or reason to it. And it's like, I'm over here with freaking toys as an adult trying to figure out like, how do I get Seth Rollins involved with this?
Hall, your new gimmick is Hall drip. Then you'll have a sport gun.
Oh man, they're like, again, I thought Roman Reigns and dog food segment was fine, so I can watch awful segments and find enjoyment with them. Sure. Some of the Johnny Drip stuff Especially when you have Rollins, who's like the king of drip or whatever with his suits or whatever. When did drip become slang for style?
I didn't even know it was a thing, Ross. So I'm way behind. So.
I only know it from wrestling. So, well, all right. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, it makes me mad at some of WWE's storytelling because, again, they have super talented people, and the storylines are just garbage half the time.
Yes.
Wait. Do you think NXT is doomed? There was a report that I guess Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon are going to be producing it or heavily involved.
So I saw what Kevin Dunn did for the logo, and I just recently heard about the Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard. Yeah, and NXT's done.
So I'm going to say, now, I don't necessarily like the NXT logo. However, I'm fine with it not being like a death metal logo of just like skulls and black and wings and all that.
Sure.
Like, I hated the NXT studio or whatever it is, where they had like the plexiglass around and it looked like it was out of Mad Max.
Yeah.
I did not care for that presentation at all. Like, I don't know how other people felt about it, but I visually it was very jarring to me. I just didn't like it.
I was watching an old ECW, and you talking about dirty feeling. My God, I just felt like I got like gonorrhea just watching it. I mean, it was just so dirty looking.
I like that gonorrhea was your go-to.
Yeah, sorry.
Not syphilis or Hep B.
Gonorrhea. It's gonorrhea. NXT's look was terrible.
I don't know if I kind of think it's doomed at this point, but
maybe they can do what baseball did, put it in a cornfield and
or it turns into like Street Fighter, where everybody has their own ring set up or something, where it's like their stage.
I don't think we talked about this. Can we talk about that for a moment? Baseball did it somewhat right, because they got me watching the entire Yankees White Sox game.
Red Sox.
No, it wasn't. It was White Sox.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because the movie's about the White Sox.
Oh, okay. I just assumed Yankee and Red Sox. So
no, Ross. Come on now. The movie's about the White Sox. But anyway, they got me watching a whole game about the White Sox and the Yankees, and I could care less. Corn is what made me watch baseball.
Hold on, I'm pulling that up because you're right. It was, I don't know. I heard Sox and I just assumed the Red Sox because of the rivalry.
Well, next year it's going to be the Cubs and the Reds,
right?
Which makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, I think Reds because they were the first professional team, maybe.
It's the movie's about the White Sox. The White Sox always has to be a part of the Field of Dreams. I'm sorry.
Well, it's going to be the sequel. They're going to make a sequel to it. I watched a little bit of. I could not get the channel that it was on, but I found like a couple totally legitimate and authorized by MLB streams to watch a little bit of it, and it was like, oh, that's a really cool presentation. But I think you were saying like, yeah, they're going to do it again and just totally screwed up though.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be like each corn stalk is going to have a ad projected onto it in post production.
Well, they've already talked about putting more stands, and I'm like, so you're just gonna make a baseball field?
Yeah, like, why not keep it special?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, there's something to be said for like smaller, limited events where it feels like a super big deal to be there. Yeah. But then at the same time, like, it probably makes ticket prices like thousands of dollars where a normal person is never going to get to go.
Like, I would have made it like the damn field in the movie. I would have, like, it would have been...
Yeah, like nothing else.
It would have been nothing else. Like the little bleacher stands that they had for Kevin Costner and his family to watch. That'd be it.
And
It'd be exactly like the movie.
And only Kevin Costner is going to be sitting here.
Kevin Costner and his family. That's it.
That would be fantastic, actually.
Sure.
But
That's
yeah,
how I would have done it. But
it was really cool. Well, and because hockey has the game where they do it outside.
Sure. Yeah.
NFL doesn't really have like a special boss stage.
Yes.
I want an elevated platform where if you go out of bounds, you fall into like a swamp.
That's what I'm saying. When Tom Brady wins his 10th ring, he'll become the Mandarin. And
Yeah. So is the movie that's basically like the 10 Rings movie? Is that guy the Mandarin, or what are they doing with that? Or have
so
you?
I read a little bit about it.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's the Mandarin.
Okay.
Or this is his origin story. So I don't know.
I kind of want to see it, but I'm not good at watching movies.
Or are they going down the route that stupid Arrow did, and the Mandarin is like is a title like Ra's al Ghul was?
I don't know. I give Marvel more credit than that.
Sure.
I did laugh because we always talk about how like DC animated is really good. I guess the Marvel What If is like the first animated they've done that's good in a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I haven't watched any of them.
I haven't either, but I mean, the What Ifs were one of my favorite comic books growing up.
Sure.
Just because it was like, oh, that's neat. Because you always have like those, like, oh, I wonder what would happen if this, and they actually like kind of play it out. But yeah, because people like, it was some vlog or some YouTube video that I was watching, and they were talking about, they're like, yeah, DC's animated stuff is so good, and Marvel was usually not that great, but they finally did something good. But I was more like, I'm glad that other people recognize that, other than like me and you, that DC animated is good.
No, I am kind of excited about seeing the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah. Far from home, away from home.
Well, yeah, away from home.
Or Michael J. Fox voices Spider-Man's dog or something.
Yes. It's pretty neat, I guess, to see Tobey Maguire and the other guy. I can't remember his name. Andrew Garfield, I think. Yep.
I would not have got. I might have gotten Andrew, but I think I would have called him like Andrew Zach for some reason. I don't know why I would have ever thought that was his name, but
sure. Andrew
Zach, the next spider person. That's what he would go by.
Sure.
Spider Arachnid. What? What? You just named yourself twice. Like, well, my real name is 2 first names, so I just double named the spider.
Yes. All right, I think we're done. Yeah. We're just rambling.
All right, we will be back most likely next week unless real life happens.
Yes.
Here we go. Outro time.